Colin Johnson, thank you very, very much for giving us this opportunity to talk with each other and to give more information about Colin Johnson, who's very famous for me actually. So first I want to thank you and to start with the question of who's Colin Johnson? Just tell my viewer.
Who exactly am I? Well, I think I'm a pretty decent gentleman, a high hurdler who broke numerous world records in my career. So I think I was really fortunate that I worked really hard, got the right assistance at the right time from the right type of people, great coaching, good education. And that was the key, I think, to my success. And athletics really is a sport that made me and made my name for myself.
So does that mean that only being powerful and active is not enough to be a good player, a famous one?
I think it takes more to be a champion than just being great at what you do. I really think that you've got to have the right type of personality. You've got to be really quite approachable to the general public. If the general public don't adore you, then it's no point being a champion in one way. I really feel that you need to connect to your people. That is pretty vital if you want to get to the top of your game, because you need support. And the support is really crucial if you're going to make it to the top of your game. No doubt about that.
Is the player only enough his support, his hard working, or does he need support from here and there?
No, you always need support from here and there. I mean, that is the most important thing, and it's got to be not only from your coaches, but it's got to be from, for example, for me it was from Welsh Athletics, it was from my local government, it was from my local sports council. All these things were very, very important for me to make it to the top of my game. And of course, you always need help from your family and your friends. They're very important for your success too.
Definitely. Do you think, or could you tell me about the feeling when someone feels that he achieved something in his life?
You know, I remember vividly crossing the line in my first World Championship victory in 1993, and I broke the world record during that race. And I remember the feeling that I had. I really wish that I could give that emotion to every single person that was watching me in the stadium and around the world. It was such a sense of achievement. And it's very rarely in your life you have the opportunity to feel you've achieved something that was really special and you make history. And I think it was a great performance on my behalf, and I absolutely adored the response I had from the general public. That is what really made it special.
Is it? Can I call it a science, sport, or is it just practicing, or is it just an activity?
You know, sport is everything. For me, it was my life. So it was everything. It was activity. It was about competition. It was about making friends. It was about getting fit. You know, it has so many arms to it that it is really special. Sport does things that other things cannot do, that politicians would love to do. Sport always manages to make it happen.
The successful, when you get it, I think it's not only for you, as you said, family and friends. Could you tell me about any reaction of someone close to you when you are just getting the medal?
You know, I remember speaking to my sister after the race and after I broke the world record, and I said to her, what were you doing at that particular time when I broke the world record? And she told me that she was putting on makeup. And I asked her, why were you putting on makeup? And she said, because I know there was going to be camera crews outside the house and I wanted to look my best when they turned up. So, you know, it's those type of things. You can see that, you know, it has a knock-on effect to your whole family and your friends. And when I arrived home, they gave me a massive party, which was just brilliant, just brilliant.
So not only Colin Jackson is the clever one, his sister as well, clever. I thought maybe she will be going to say I was crying.
No, she's a well-trained actor. So she kind of was really up with it. You know, they went through a lot with my failures, and I think for them it was really great that they actually saw me succeed at the highest level as well. I think that's what adds the magic and makes your parents, friends and family feel proud of you.
Okay, when you said, okay, I stop here, was it just because you thought that you've got what you want, or there was any reasons?
You know, there's a time you've got to be honest to yourself when you think, I haven't got the heart anymore. The desire was I didn't want to go out and compete. I loved training. I loved the social element of training. That was fantastic. But I really didn't want to compete anymore. It was hard work to leave my house, to leave my home, to leave my friends and go and compete. So it's that stage when you really know, okay, it's time to stop. So I was really lucky that I retired from athletics very healthy. I'm very happy. I didn't have a bitter pill in my mouth when I left my sport. It didn't leave me injured. It left me really with a great legacy.
Yeah. And then you continued the same way, but in different career.
Yeah, it was fascinating because I decided to work with the BBC.
Sport.
In BBC Sport, yeah. And it was interesting because there was one thing I said I would never do. I was working in the media, and the next thing
Have you thought about it before?
Never. I always, when people had asked me, I'd have thought, no, I don't fancy being in the media anymore. I thought once I'd finished athletics, it was time to finish being in the public eye, in the public arena. So I thought it'd be nice to have a peaceful and quiet time. It didn't turn out that way.
When Colin Jackson is going here and there, you know the media and the journalists here in this country just taking shots, pictures. Does that affect anything or making any or disturbing?
You know, I would always say most of the time, once you've kind of made your image and the general public know who you are, it doesn't matter what people say or do in a negative way to you, you will always shine in people's eyes. And I think that's always one of the most crucial things to remember. So if you're generally nice and good to people, you'll always be generally nice and good to people. For me, it doesn't really make that much difference because as far as I'm concerned, I don't do anything to upset anybody. I do as many things as I possibly can to encourage people to be more active for themselves. Because it is ultimately, when you're doing sport, it's about you. You get the benefits from it more than anybody else. So, you know, I always kind of encourage that, and I think most people understand where I'm coming from when I speak those words.
I will get away from sport a little bit and ask you a geographic question. Have you heard of Kurdistan?
Yes, I know very well where it is in Iraq there. So yeah, I know a lot about it. Unfortunately, I don't know that much about the history. But I have looked many times around Persia and the whole area there. Because I'm quite fascinated in the culture and the history of it. I mean, it's an incredible part of the world with vast amount of history. But unfortunately, I'm over the other side of the world and looking into the Mayas' history at this moment. So eventually I'll get to that side of the world, I promise.
But you are an international body, you know. You are not belonging to Wales, Britain, America. You are international one. So everybody, everywhere are looking for something from you.
Yeah, and I really love that fact. I think it's an honour that you can bring so much happiness to people from around the world in just being you. I think that's what makes sport really magical. That's what is that touch, that ingredient really that makes it special and outstanding. All I tell people is that I ran really fast and jumped over things really quickly. And that is kind of what's made me a world star. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, there was a conference today and you are here today as a honor guest. And the conference is just how to get, the support developed in Kurdistan. What are your advices for the sportsmen in Kurdistan?
I think the most important thing is always to support your teams, your sports stars. That is vital. I think what is also very important is that the sports stars themselves have got to know the support is there, but not necessarily need to use it all the time. One of the things I always found here in Wales was I really felt that my identity was definitely Welsh, so the Welsh people identified with me, and I got a lot of support when it was needed from my country or my region, and that's what really makes this area quite outstanding. And I guess you guys are in a very similar situation in a sense of you're a great region, you're outstanding, but you're part of something else as well. And I think we can all learn from that. And I think Wales has done very, very well. We've got many great sports stars now that have come out to Wales, a lot of them because of the success and support of our local government and authorities.
Colin Jackson, thank you very, very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. That was very cool. Thank you so much.